Hello, my name is Eduardo, and well, I am here with another tutorial for App Inventor. Okay, with the new tutorial, this tutorial, it is to continue with this bomber blitz game or helicopter bomber thing. Okay, and in this helicopter game for App Inventor, now we are in part 3. In part 3, we're going to start adding something. Okay, in the previous part, okay, we add the collisions and we were destroying the buildings, and now we're going to add the explosions. Okay, will you check? We have explosion over there. And also, I added this thing about going down little by little. Well, basically that is the idea for this video. And if you collide with a building, you crash and start again. Okay, obviously we don't have any lives or score, but that is the idea for today's video. Okay, so let's start, and to do that, let me go to my other project where I have the previous part. Okay, and let's start making this little by little. Please don't forget to like this, don't forget to like the video, to share it. Okay, help me with your like. That could be really good for me. If you have any problems, questions, suggestions, please just let me know them. Check, we have this little bug and we start like that. So anyway, we just refresh the screen and we have this. Okay, so in the last video we were here, so no explosions. So let's start adding this. Let me make this thing smaller just for you to see. Here, that's it. Looks much better. So now, so let's start. The first thing is we need the graphics for the explosion. So I will share with you the images I use, okay, for the explosion. That are 4 PNGs, okay. So these are not like something like wow, okay, but I did this in GIMP. Okay, I'm just gonna show you which files are these, and it's really simple. Maybe someday I will make a video for this. So well, the one that I told you, it is this bomb explosion. So check, this is my file. It is a 48 times 48, and we have four layers. So this is second, third, and fourth. So this was the first image, and then I just used distortion over the same image and reduce the scale, and that's it. That's the way I created this. So I will share this, okay, in the same file you have, okay. In the description, please, you can download these images and sounds. Well, so you have to import them. So I import the explosion 1, explosion 2, explosion 3, explosion 4, okay. And after that, you need to drag another sprite. We are going to rename this to X. Okay, let's call it X sprite. So we have the X sprite. So now we need to start like working with the blocks. Okay, so let's go to the blocks. Well, the first thing, before we go into the blocks in the designer, we are going to set, remember that it was 48 times 48, so we're going to set it here to 48 times 48. So we're going to set this thing to 48, 48, then we check if we need to reduce it. Okay, so the interval, I guess that it's okay. So the picture, you can set the first picture if you want, okay, but you need to make it invisible and disable. Okay, invisible, disable, and 48 times 48. Now we are here in the block section. So let's go here, down, 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 bump sprite, and let's start. There is another thing that we need. In order to play this animation, we need a clock, a sensor here. And of course we're going to rename it, and we're going to call it exp clock or explosion clock. We are going to set it, in this case I guess to 96 is okay. We disable this clock, and then we go here. So let's create first a procedure. The first procedure that we're going to create is the animation procedure, any explosion, okay, or animation explosion if you want. For this we're going to create a condition with if, and also we need to create a new variable. This variable is to count the number of frames. Remember, we have 4 frames, okay, for the animation x frame, okay, explosion frame. It can be like current explosion frame, but anyway, we're going to set this to 0, and then we are going to check, you know, if the explosion frame it is less than 4, okay, so that the total number of frames, then so we are going to, if this is less, so we can increase the value by 1. We're going to increase its own value by 1. At the beginning it's 0, so we are going to start like 1, and then 2 and 3, okay, until we get to 4. So we're going to increase this by 1, and that's it. So we're going to increase the value by 1. So now let me check just something. So now the next thing it is we are going to change the explosion sprite picture. We're going to set the explosion sprite picture, and we're going to use here join. We are going to add an extra slot. One is for the name, the second one it is for the frame, because remember the names I have eps, that is the name, then you have the number, then you have the extension .png, okay. So we're going to add first the word or the prefix eps. So that's why you have to rename your files correctly in order to use these things. Duplicate this one, then it has the current number frame, and finally the extension without spaces, png. Well, we are going to set this picture, okay, so we're going to be like changing this. Else, if this is bigger than this number, so we want to stop the animation, right? So to stop the animation, we're going to, you know, we're going to set this picture to nothing. Picture, 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 and we're going to set it to an empty text. And then we're going to reset the explosion frame. We're going to set it to 0 again. Then we're going to make this thing invisible, okay, because we want to disappear the sprite. So we're going to check visible and enable. So we duplicate this one, Ctrl C and V, Ctrl V, then we just look for enable. So let's set first that enable it's like false, and also the same for visible. So, and we're going to disable the clock. Well, obviously the clock has to be enabled when it's running the animation. So we set this to false. Again, so just let's review the code. Just let me check here. So check. We're going to make a condition to run like a loop. Okay, this is a loop inside this loop. It will be like stored in the clock, okay, in the sensor, the explosion clock. So we go here and we are going to insert this procedure, any explosion. So now what it's going to happen when the clock runs its cycle? Well, the first time it will be in 0 the explosion frame. So because it's in 0 and it's less than 4, it will set this to 1 and it will set this picture to the frame number 1. Then it will go again to number 2, to number 3, and then to number 4. When it's in number 4, okay, it will check, you know what, else. So now we need to set the image to empty, disappear the image, and reset the frames, and then it will disappear this sprite. And also disable the clock, so stops the loop. So basically that is the idea with here. Now we need to create another procedure here. Okay, this procedure, it is necessary. Okay, for example, you have here now to activate the explosion. So we are going to call it like that. So let's call it activate explosion. So now the activate thing, okay, it will trigger our clock because our clock, it is like disabled. Okay, so we need to activate the clock. So we need to insert this thing, okay, when we have a collision. So first let's create what happens when we have a collision. Let's think about this. Okay, so how to start the activating the explosion? Well, remember the sprite of the explosion, it is disabled and it's not visible. Okay, so we need to start like making these things happen little by little. So first we need to make it enable. Then we need to make it visible. So because at the beginning they are not like that, so we're going to set it to true. Then duplicate this one again. Now it's visible. Okay, now we need to place it. To place it, we're going to make the same almost as with the bomb. Okay, we need to place the explosion near the bomb, where the bomb makes collision. Okay, so that's why we're going to use here bomb sprite X and bomb sprite Y, with just a little modification for the X. We're going to increase the value just by half. I will show you what I mean. And we're going to set the explosion X position here. You know what, let's move this procedure over here to have some space. So the X position, it has to be in the same place where the bomb sprite it is when it's like colliding, okay, or making contact with the building. Then this thing, we're going to check the size of the sprite, okay, the size, I mean the width, and we're going to divide it by 2. So just to move it a little bit, the explosion, okay, to have a better placement. So now for the Y, it's okay if we just duplicate this one and we set it to bomb sprite Y. I guess that's okay with the bomb. The explosion in the Y axis, oh sorry, we just have to rename to Y. And finally, when we have all the conditions, we appear the explosion. Now we need to enable clock. Okay, so explosion clock enable to true. So when everything is set, I will go first for this, okay, maybe in the order. So first we place these things, then we make it visible. We make it visible, then we place it and we make it enable, and finally we enable this. Okay, so sometimes it is important because we want to make this sprite visible. Obviously it has no image, but it has an image, so but maybe we can empty the image. For the first image of the here. I changed my mind, so let's set it to none. Okay, so now, so this is going to be true. We make the sprite visible, obviously with no image. Then we place it in X and Y according to the coordinates of the explosion, and then we are going to make it enable, and the timer, we are going to trigger the timer, and that's it. And now it will run the loops of the animation. So now we need to insert these procedures when we have collisions, okay, the bomb sprite collision. So we need to look for the bomb sprite collide, check bomb sprite collide, and we need to check here. So where it's a good place to insert the activation? Well, if you check your loop, okay, so here when we collide, we set the changing in the image sprite. So I guess it will be a nice place between the when we resize the building and we place the building. Okay, so we are going to call this procedure activate explosion in the middle. Okay, so we have here, and I guess that will be that would be okay. So maybe we can test this thing. Check. If you see, the image looks a little bit to the right, not like in the same position of the building. So we can fix this. Let's go to the procedure, and then we are going to check what is the procedure, an explosion, no, activate, maybe in the X. Why not, if we reduce, instead of moving over there, we're going to reduce, almost the same procedure, but subtracting the value. So now check, let's see here. Yes, looks much better. I guess that's okay. It looks good. So we have this thing now. Well, and now this coming. So now what else? Well, maybe we can insert the loop for the helicopter about the sound. Oh, sorry. Or we can start like moving the helicopter down little by little. Okay, so well, before that we need to check, you know what, we're going to do something. Now we want to detect if we collide with a building, I mean not the bomb, now the helicopter. Okay, so now we need to create a procedure for the helicopter when the helicopter crashes with a building, before we start like moving the helicopter going down. So let's make it. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to make, we are going to use here helicopter or heli bomber collides with, and we're going to use something similar as we did with this with the buildings and the bomb, because it was in the bomb. We were checking if the bomb collides with any of the members of this list or this group, that is a group of buildings. Okay, so we use this procedure. Okay, actually we can copy this thing and we can use it. Okay, or we can make it again. So let's make it again just to show you. I sometimes like to copy and copy and copy paste. Okay, so the first thing, let's go here and let's create for each item. So for each item in the list, so for each sprite, okay, or for each building in the list, which list, where we are going to get the list that we just created at the beginning, that is this image sprite list, okay, this component. And then we're going to insert here a condition to detect if we are having a collision, okay, with this group Okay, so if the heli bomber has a collision with any of the members of this list, basically that is the idea. Okay, so then we go to any component blocks and we go for any image sprite, and we're going to look for the one that it says something about colliding. Okay, image colliding. So we are going to use here logic, and we are going to compare if. Okay, remember that for component we use here. So for component get sprite other. Who is other? Well, in this case, if any of these sprites collides with this guy that is heli bomber, so we are going to go for heli bomber, and at the bottom we're going to check this little block that it has its name. If we have a collision with heli bomber, okay, so if the collision is true, sorry, then we want to make something. We want to, if we crash with this guy, we want to reset the position of the helicopter to go here again and to stop over there maybe, okay, to freeze this guy. Okay, so well, to do that we need to check our procedures about heli start. So we're going to go to heli start. Remember that we have this when we start the game. Let's look for it. Sorry, because I had too many blocks. Heli start. It is in here. Maybe I should put over here these other blocks to the top to have better arrangement. Yeah, let me do that, because if not, sometimes it's very confusing to going from one place to another place. So let's reduce this just to move. So we have these blocks for the for the helicopter, and we're going to set them here. I guess that's okay. Now we go to 80, and that's it. So now guys, check. We have heli start procedure, that is resetting the position of the heli every time we start the game. So basically that is placing the helicopter over here and hitting this part and freezing the helicopter and setting the global power to false. Okay, so basically that is the idea with it. So now we need to add something extra. We need to use it. Okay, so now of course there is something in here that we need to add. So we're going to call this procedure here heli start. So we're going to detect if we have this collision. But now when we have this collision, so we reset everything. Okay, so I guess that's okay. And so let's see what happens. So you know what, let's refresh the screen because we created some things. So I refresh the screen, and let's see what happens if we have well, we need to detect the collision. So in this case we need to move the helicopter down when we get to the edge. Remember that we have a procedure over there that we just disabled in the other video. So just let's enable this. So we're going to go down little by little. So let's see what happens now. I'm not going to destroy these guys because I want to die. That's it. Now, something extra that we can add. Well, maybe we can add the sound of the explosion over there. Okay, and also, what if we add an explosion over here? Well, to do that, to make things easier, let's duplicate the activate explosion. We're going to duplicate this one, but now we are not going to do it with when the bomb has collision. In this case we are going to modify this procedure. So this activate bomb explosion, and we're going to place it in this case. So remember, activate 2, it is for the helicopter. So now what we want in this case is to modify the things, because now we are going to place the explosion based on the heli bomber. So we're going to change this to heli bomber, okay, and then heli bomber, just like that. Okay, something very simple. So now we need to check, and also we need to add here a sound. What if we add here the sound, that is the explosion, and then we're going to check if this thing looks okay. So we have the X sprite, enable, true, and that's it. So let's try it. So I play, and let me check. Oops, nothing happened. So let's see, what are we making here? Because I haven't added the explosion too. Okay, so this detection. So we can go in here and set it here. So let's see right now. So if we have collision, we need to see here an explosion, and yes, that's the explosion. Okay, so basically that is the idea with this thing. Now it looks better. So if you go again, and then we crash. Oops, I will crash again. Well, in this case it's going to be hard, because at the beginning I start a bomb. When you start this the game and anyway, sorry, we're going to go here to call the game over. We reset everything, and then we start like playing this thing, and we try to survive. And if you check, it's going down. I will die. And that's it. That's the way you can make it. There is another option that I did in the video, in the other thing, that it's just to make it easier. So check. I want to pass over here 1, 2 times, and then going down. Okay, just to have some time, because if not, this is quite hard, the game. So you can make that and you can use it when you get to the edge. I mean, when the heli bomber gets to the edge. Heli bomber gets to the edge. So let me check what is the procedure for the heli bomber. That's why you have to set your blocks. Okay, because if not, sometimes you're looking for things and they are like lost, or you just can reduce everything again. And we try to find heli bomber. Heli bomber. Oh, it looks so small. Heli bomber gets to the edge. You know what? These blocks are lost. We have this one. Oh yeah, it's in here, sorry. So well, for that, as I told you, if you want to make the game easier, okay, for heli bomber edge reach, I want to pass over here 2 times and then going down. So oh, sorry. So to do that, we can create a variable, and we're going to call it edge times edge reach. So how many times we have reached the edge? So we're going to set it to 0, and then we're going to use here a condition. Okay, so an extra condition. The first condition, it says when you get to the edge, okay, so that it's on the left side, that it's the -3, remember is the edge on the west. Okay, well, we are going to use here inside this, we are going to use a condition. So these blocks that we have here to move, okay, we're going to use them. Oh, I'm getting sick. Well, we need to check if this new variable that we just created, the times we pass, it is less than, let's say that we just want to pass 2 times, okay, the 0 from 1 to 2, okay, so let's use 1 here, okay, so we, as in the other loop, okay, we just increase this value by 1, if this value is less than 1, so we're going to increase the time gets, okay, this same value by 1, we're going to increase it by 1 every time we get to the edge. Oh, sorry. Then what happens when we are not in 1? When we get to the limit of the loop, where we need to stop the loop, and we need to well, check here, this, we are going to move this, and we are going to set just the X position. It will be like modify when we are in less, okay, so that means that we pass and we reset to the same position, okay, but when you pass 2 times, now it will reset the X position as usual, but then going down little by little, okay, so well, that's the idea. So let's see if this is like working. And of course we need to reset this variable again to use it again, okay, so in this case we are going to set it to 0 again. That's it, okay, so now it is times 15. And the other thing that I need to do, so because we are going to have 2 passes or 2 opportunities to destroy buildings, so let's increase the speed of Heli Bomber. So let's set it to 15, okay, so let me just remove this thing here, and now let's see how does the game look now. Okay, so we're going to call the game over, or let's refresh the screen better. So we refresh the screen, we go here to companion, and we start like checking this. Oh yes, it's going fast. So this is the second time it's going down, okay, so I guess that's okay. Oh, I had a second opportunity. No, I will die. Well, I guess that's all for today, and I will start like dying here. Yeah, no, I have one opportunity. And that's it, okay, quite entertaining. Oh, well, in this part it's easy, and that's it, okay. So, well, it is almost done, these things. I guess we are almost finishing this tutorial, but there is something that I see. When the bomb sprite gets to the edge, I want to see an explosion too when it gets to an empty edge, okay. So when even if we don't have any building, we want to see the explosion, okay. So to do that, we are going to activate the bomb in here. So we are going to just drag this procedure. That's That's the good thing about procedures. We don't have to insert a big bunch of blocks over here or create new ones. Just recycle this thing. So check if we have a contact with this thing. Okay, so if we get to the edge, okay, the edge is reached, so we're going to call this animation. Okay, so we can set it in here, I guess. That's okay. So let's see if this is working, and I guess this is the final thing, so we need to empty this. So let's clean one edge. So we want to see if we have explosion. That's going to be hard. Oh no, I crashed. Also, let me check the last part right here. Yes, we have collision over an empty part. So, well, I guess that's all for today. My name is Eduardo, and for the sound of the helicopter, I guess in the next video I will share with you that part. Okay, that it's very easy. So for this video, what we did today, remember, it was we will create some procedures to activate the explosion. The explosion, it is just a series of PNG files. Okay, so it is like a little animation of 4 frames, and then we just activate this. Okay, and this then we create a procedure, okay, to animate the frames. Okay, we created a variable, of course, and then this animation is running in a sensor clock or in a clock. Okay, and it is stopped when we reach the last frame. Basically, that is the idea with this stuff for this video. Okay, and there is something that I need to do, okay, before we go in, because I don't like, you know what, I don't like the color of my background. So, well, to do that, we can go to Inkscape or any program, or to the web, but I prefer Inkscape. Sorry again. So, and this game is almost done, guys. Okay, so I guess you're almost done. We are just need to add maybe some lights and maybe some you can create some blocks like this one to make it more visual, or change your bomb, whatever. Okay, so but in this case I just want to change the background, because I don't like this kind of yellow thing. So maybe a background, red background, or maybe an orange background, or maybe, sorry, here something blue, or something dark. I guess something gray. I guess that would be okay. Something like this, or something more dramatic. So I guess that's okay. And then we're going to go here, and we're going to check the color. So just to check the color, double click on here on fill, and then you have here 183, 196, sorry, and 200, 183, 196, and 200. So now thank you. Then we go here to companion, and we just do this thing. Maybe yes, maybe not. I guess something more like that's 180, 128, 179, and 255. So let's hope this is better. Well, you know, not very good, but let's try. Let's go for this one, or something like orange and dark, or something very orange. I guess something orange, just for today. So, like my last try. Guys, please don't forget to like this video, to share this video with your friends, or with someone who's learning at Inventor like me, like you, okay? So, if you want to share your project with me, okay, I mean your videos about the apps that you made watching this tutorial, please feel free to do it, okay? So that's okay. We change the color of the buildings, okay, to make them look better, okay? So I will change all of them, okay, in order to have some idea with this, because if not it looks quite horrible. But explosion looks awful with that color. So maybe we need to add here another blue thing or green thing. So let's go for something blue, dark blue. So maybe it's at night. So this is happening at night. So anyway, my name is Eduardo. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching this. So goodbye.